Y-
Okay, so let's get down to business. So in this slide, you can hear me very perfect now. We'll cut away this slide. Right. Sure, you can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay. So welcome to the episode. In this episode, we'll cover the sub query network. So in a nutshell, subquery enables you build APIs for your applications such that anybody can connect to them or you can connect to other people's API using the GraphQL. So subquery is like the graph of the Polkadot and then the Kusama ecosystem. And this is already a project that is live and being operational in many applications like wallets. You have things like Fearless Wallet, Nova Wallet, different explorers like Subscan. If you are in tune with the Polkadot ecosystem, Solve Visual if you are involved with Parachins, if you want to view which Parachins are leading and the rest of them, dot market cap, NFT platforms, um, and then a host of Kusama and Polkadot ecosystems like Akala, Fala, Star Network, Nawinium, Bifrost, Mobile, and the list continues. So there are basically four components that make up this the subquery network. So the SDK which anybody can use to create a project. We have the projects that are created as a result of the SDK, so you can deploy them to high performance nodes, or you can run them yourself. And this, if you're running them on subquery, the team manages them for free for you. Then we have the Explorer. The Explorer is basically, when I say, a dashboard where you can go and see any project that has been deployed using the SDK. You can try, you can be inspired by what other people have built. And then lastly, we have the subquery network, which is a way to decentralize the network and also tokenize it. So rather than the team run the network infrastructure, anybody can run this in their house, and for a fee, people can query the network and make do with data. So how does it work? First, there has to be the extraction of data. So um, a blockchain app is built, you will have to extract data. And not only do we extract data, we can also, okay, this is the kind of stuff we want to do with the data. These are the kind of data we want. And then we can now save such data. And then we can query the data for any kind of application that we may have. So the first thing is you filter data according to whatever use case you have. So a blockchain application can have things like A, B, C, D, and the rest of them. Maybe just what you need is A and B. You take that data, you transform it to your need, you persist it, meaning you save it, then you can query it. And then what are some of the network participants? We have consumers. So these are like what I showed you, the different kind of persons. These are all consumers. And then we have indexers. So indexers are basically the ones who provide indexing services. They are the ones who store this data some years so that you can be able to access them. And delegators are basically people who do not index data, but they delegate that tokens on behalf of an indexer. So I need for you to be an indexer, there is a minimum amount of executed tokens, which is the subquery network tokens you have to have that makes you eligible to become an indexer. So an indexer, in other words, could also be a validator. But in this case, you're not validating blocks. Or what you're just doing, you are storing data, making it available upon request. So verifiers are basically people who run different data, and then they can compare the hash of the data in case there's any conflicts, and they can then query providers are basically those who help provide indexing services to indexers for query. So for payment methods, there are different kind of payments that can actually work on the system. There is agreements. So agreement can be closed. So in one-to-one relationship, a consumer can have a one-to-one relationship with an indexer to say, okay, help me persist, help me extract, help me persist, and help me transform this data so that I can be able to query it. So you just have a relationship. Like for example, a wallet can have a relationship with a specific indexer, or the relationship can be open, which is one to many. Like anybody can, the consumer is open to doing business with any two or more indexers, as the case may be, or it could be as a pay as you go model. So, and then this network has a grants program. You can see some of the people already in the grants program, things, Developer and the rest of them. So the tokenomics is that there will be 10 billion tokens, and the token will be used for index staking. Like I said, you need a minimum amount of tokens to stake if you're an
Stick.
indexer. If you're not an indexer, you can also delegate tokens to an indexer. Network fee if you are paying like gas to for these queries, and then there's a network reward for those who do indexing and the rest of them. So there's the foundation, software foundation, and these are some of the duties, things like education, managing the treasury, and the rest of them. So this is the team, the CTOs, the CEO, then head of partnership, and these are some of the investors, the LOR, Wintermute, all that. And these are some of the
Links.
information, the links. That is it. So I think there are some similarities between this project and the graph. So what do you think are some of the similarities?
Uh, if you look at the Graph project, if you study the Graph project, you find out that they provide data for you as a blockchain developer. So, and there are similar projects like that. We know of the Covalent project also. So, such projects, people easily, developers need more of this kind of projects so that there'll be a kind of competition. Maybe you launch in Ethereum where there's high gas fee, or someone launch in another protocol. So developers will have choice and be able to choose which one to make use of. So there's huge similarity between those two projects. And one is the cost without being a major play in it. And currently now, apart from user interface, there's a developer friendly. The one that is developer friendly, the more developer will adopt it easier and faster compared to the other one. So they are quite similar.
Okay, one of the challenges, okay, you as a developer, if you are to build your applications and then you are running in-house indexing services, so that is one of the things an application needs is data. So you can either outsource the indexing of data, or you can decide to run in-house data. And without services like subquery, it becomes very complex for you to run data some years. And then, it's a very big market, and that's why there is a big need for open APIs. Where I think there are cases where the likes of big corporations like Google, Twitter, and the rest of them. Or even there was a time Facebook allowed their APIs, their developers to use the APIs, and people were
There's
giving games and the rest of them.
there are still Facebook APIs which are still open apart from this WhatsApp Messenger, WhatsApp Business API. So apart from the WhatsApp that you have to write, the rest ones are open source. Like I was planning on working on a project. I check if the API are available for Instagram. The API are really available. So you see a lot of things really available in open source because someone said that open source is the future. So most things are really available for developers these days.
The issue is not even being available. At the end of the day, um, this is something. So this could be available now. So you build an application, and then tomorrow the owner of the platform says, "Okay, we are discontinuing support for that stuff." So it means that what you've built, you either look for a way to substitute for that API that has been discontinued, or you get out of business. So that is the challenge. So the challenge is not even then now.
That is true. That is true. Uh, this is, when I would tend to choose, when I was looking for the API, first I have to understand, is this in open source? That has to be the first thing I ask myself. And is there a second option for me to make use of? If at all, Facebook decide that, okay, we are not continuing with this project, uh, you have to look for a way for you to get this data yourself, and getting this data yourself involves some technicality. You can get any data you want at all, but it involves a lot of work also for you to get those informations. So if they come up now, then everyone will resort to getting those information. But I believe like subquery is not going to be like that huge. The information in index are available for you to work in your platform.
It's okay. I think that is enough for software.
Okay.
You can end the slide.